Anybody remember this?
Oh, the fate of mankind hangs in the balance as Kadeem Hardison, TV's Dwayne Wayne.
This honey I met the other night was bad. Bad. Super bad.
And Bill Nunn from Do the Right Thing get busy in the first contemporary horror thriller of its kind.
This is how black cinema was doing it back in the 90s, showing us that we can rock in that indie horror space with an all-black cast, an R&B soundtrack, and blood-sucking women.
Damn, I just peed myself a little.
Hey fam, it's your boy Rome. Now, if you're standing 10 toes down in your faith, do you think that's going to be enough when temptation is looking you right in the face and it looks exactly like what you've always wanted? We're taking a trip back to 1990 Brooklyn. The vibe was dive bars, neon lights, Freddie Jackson on the jukebox, and a predator in the form of a beautiful woman that's stalking the streets. Fam, let's talk about that cult classic, Death by Temptation.
Yeah, I remember this one.
This isn't just another slasher flick. It's stylish, soulful, sexy, and honestly, it's a kind of an eerie look at what happens when your old school faith goes up against new age temptation. The story revolves around Joel. He's a student from North Carolina that heads up to NYC to visit his cousin. But while they're out there cruising the streets, they run into a woman that's played by the beautiful Cynthia Bond. Now, not only is she a succubus, she's been spending her nights luring men home with her from the bars so she can feed on them. It's not until Joel's friends start disappearing that he has to team up with this ghost hunting cop in order to battle the demon.
That woman, and I don't know why you can't see this, man, is crazy. She is a murderer. No bullshit.
This movie was one of Sam Jackson's first roles. We get some flashback scenes of him as a young pastor. He's also playing Joel's father.
Temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful.
On top of it being a very well done indie film, it handles the crisis of faith, good versus evil trope really well. A lot of horror movies just use the priest as a plot device to throw holy water and pray, but in this movie, it makes it a lot more personal. Joel isn't just fighting a monster, he's fighting his own desires that he's been keeping bottled up inside.
When you get all that man and release all that's been built up for 35 years, just wanting and wanting and wanting, whoo, might make your head blow off.
Go to Weezer.
The succubus isn't just a random killer either. She's representing everything that Joel has been taught to avoid. It creates a sort of psychological tug of war between the spirit and the flesh.
I don't ever want you associating with little girls.
Why not, Mama?
Because little girls are the devil.
And it gives the movie its heart. It also kind of reversed the roles of what we consider to be typical in horror movies also by having that female demon hunting the men and making them the helpless victims. It's got its gross out moments also. They use practical effects for a lot of them that was considered kind of inventive, especially for that time and for as low of a budget that this project was. This movie's always been considered a key part of the rise of black independent movies in those late 80s and early 90s, following in the footsteps of like Melvin Van Peebles and Spike Lee. And I feel that this movie really stood out because it's a real time capsule for just black excellence in indie film. It's got that gritty 80s to 90s aesthetic, a killer R&B soundtrack with Freddie Jackson, Asper and Simpson. But the main thing is, it's a story that actually respects its characters. Cynthia Bond, that played the succubus, as good as she was in this, she left acting right after to become a writer. Her book Ruby was a bestseller. It was also featured on like Oprah's book club, and it covered themes of sexual abuse, religious hypocrisy, and Satanism. And she never went back to acting. Coming in at an hour and 35 minutes, Death by Temptation is streaming on these platforms here if you'd like to check it out for yourself, or hey, maybe you already have. Whichever the case, fam, hit me up over in that comment section so we can keep the conversation going about this piece of pop culture excellence, because I would really like to hear your opinion. But as for mine, Death by Temptation is watch list approved.